Queen Xterra materialized in her private chambers through the royal transporter, her exoskeleton rippling with the colors of command, deep purples and furious reds. She had cut her diplomatic mission to the outer colonies short. Something felt wrong. For 3 days, she'd experienced a nagging anxiety that no amount of protocol or political maneuvering could dispel. The royal palace was silent, which was unusual. Where were the servants? The guards? The endless parade of attendants that followed her every movement? She moved through the corridors, her 4 arms tensing, each one capable of dealing death in a dozen different ways. She was the apex, the supreme ruler of 7 star systems. Fear was a concept for lesser beings, but something in her wanted to understand this wrongness. She found them in the nursery. Her 4 quadruplets, Nyx, Kes, Vora, and the smallest, Tix, were arranged on the soft bioluminescent mat that served as their sleeping quarters. They were barely sapient, mere months old, their exoskeletons still soft and vulnerable. They required constant care, constant warmth, constant. Her hearts nearly stopped. The janitor, a small human male named David whom she'd never properly acknowledged, sat in the center of the quadruplets with something she had never seen in her palace before: joy. David, who was supposed to clean the floors, was playing some kind of game with her children. He'd fashioned tiny objects from waste materials, shimmering pieces of discarded polymer that caught the light. He made them dance through the air while her quadruplets tracked the movement with their developing eyes. Their exoskeletons flushed with the soft greens and yellows of contentment and play. But that wasn't what shocked her. It was Tix, her smallest child, the one who had been struggling since birth, who had failed to bond with the royal bonding nurses, who had barely eaten and showed signs of developmental delay. Tix, who the royal geneticists had quietly warned might not survive to sapience. Tix was making sounds, not the usual distress clicks and hisses, but something rhythmic, something that almost resembled joy. Tix was reaching toward the dancing light with both front appendages. Its exoskeleton glowing with colors Xterra had never seen her child display before. Alive colors, curious colors. David noticed her presence before her children did. His human face showed a flash of fear, entirely appropriate for a servant discovered neglecting his duties. But then something else crossed his features. Not defiance, but a kind of gentle certainty. "Your Majesty," he said carefully, still holding the dancing light for Tix. "I know this is inappropriate." But Tix was alone, and the other caretakers seemed afraid of Tix's condition. "I found the light toys in the recycling bin, and I thought..." He paused. "I thought maybe your child just needed someone to play with. Someone who wasn't afraid of not knowing what to do." Xterra processed this. David, a creature with a lifespan of mere decades, was explaining parenting to her, a being who had ruled for 240 years. The absurdity should have triggered her fury. Instead, she watched as Tix made a little chirping sound and longed for the light again, stumbling in that endearing way young creatures did. David caught Tix gently, laughing at the clumsiness. The other 3 quadruplets began calling for his attention, and he shifted his position so he could interact with all of them at once. The apex queen, standing in the doorway of her own nursery, realized she had no idea how to do what this janitor was doing so effortlessly. She had been designed for dominance, for strategy, for rulership, but she had been given 4 tiny lives to nurture, and she had delegated it away, assuming that resources and education were sufficient replacements for presence and attention. David's small human hands moved with surprising dexterity as he engaged with creatures whose biology was utterly foreign to him. His face held an expression of pure focus, not duty, but something deeper, something that transcended species and hierarchy. "Continue," Xterra commanded quietly. She did not leave. Instead, she settled onto a lower platform, her 4 arms folding in a posture of observation rather than dominance. And she watched as a janitor, a creature with barely a fraction of her intellect and power, taught her the most important lesson of her reign: that the measure of greatness was not in what you ruled, but in how you cared for those who could not care for themselves. Ticks chirped again, and this time, Zoextera's exoskeleton flushed with colors she rarely displayed. Colors of wonder, of humility. "What is your name?" she asked David. He smiled. "Just David, your majesty. Just David." But as she watched him play with her children, Zoextera knew his real name. It was teacher. It was wisdom. It was everything that mattered.